Like, let's say, for example, if I have a tortilla or if I have a donut or something else that I want to hand it to somebody, I'm trying to understand why wouldn't I be able to hand it to somebody? I mean, technically, if I'm understanding your question, if I have a cookie, or I have a tortilla, or I have a piece of bread, or I have anything really, I can hand it to anybody else. The only time that I can think of that a person may have a time that they have to be more careful with handing is during the motzi, when you have the kiddush of Shabbat, or you have kiddush of the Chag, of Yom Tov. The Chachamim say that you have to treat the bread, when you do the blessing of the bread, you have to treat the bread in a certain way of respect. So there's an old tradition that some people have that's mistaken, which is to take the motzi and throw it to people. Throw it to people across the table. Why? Because you're not supposed to hand the bread to them. So he says, get it to them. But that's a disrespectful way according to some Chachamim. So what's the best way to do it is that you give it to them by putting it on a plate or putting it on a table for them to get. That's the only time that I would say you have to be more conscious of whether you give it to them and instead of throwing it, or how you give it to them. But other than that, as long as you're not disrespecting the food or the person that you're giving it to, there's no problem giving something to somebody. But that's also something that a person should be conscious of, not just giving, but also knowing how to give. Many people know to give, but they don't know how to give. And this comes, this is not just with food, but it's with a lot of things, because the way that you give something many times is more impacting on a person than what you gave. So for example, if let's say somebody says, you have a kid, and and you tell them, listen, give me, can you make me a piece? I just came back from work, a long day. Can you make me a coffee? And if your kid comes to you and he just, gives you some hot water that you're not even sure if the cup was clean before you put it there, and he puts a bag of tea or coffee next to it or something, and he puts the sugar next to it, he's like, make it yourself, that's not exactly such a precious coffee that he made you. In reality, if you're a strict father or mother, you probably want to pour it on him instead of take this coffee. It's not a good coffee. Why? This is how you give your father coffee? This is how you give your father coffee? Make it nice, delicious, give it to me. Say, hey, thank you, Abba, for giving me the opportunity to give coffee. That's how you give. But if you give me coffee like this, just with warm water with some mud next to it, it's not giving me a nice way, right? So it's the way you give coffee. Another way, for example, if you say, oh, honey, I'm hungry, can you give me something to eat, right? Give me something to eat. Now, if it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and, you woke her up, she's giving you something, anything she gives you, say thank you. But if it's, let's say, 2 o'clock in the morning, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or it's 5 o'clock, some normal time that you eat, it's like, honey, I'm hungry. Honey, I'm hungry. And she gives you, she says, hold on a second. Hold on, and she gives you a piece of gum that she has left over, she needs the other half. She goes, here you go, eat. Come on, here, go ahead, eat. Now, that's not exactly such a good wife, right? Why? Because it's not what you feed your husband. You need a little bit more than a piece of half-chewed gum. So, again, you gave him food, but it's not exactly the way to give. But sometimes, Rabotai, you give tzedakah. Give tzedakah, right? Say, hey, here you go. Here you go, tzedakah. You have a few dollars on you, and you see some homeless guy or a rabbi or somebody, looks homeless, but it's not really. You say, hey, go, hey. And like this. Hey, like he's a horse. Hey, here you go, here. Like this. That's not a way to give. Why? Why does the whole world need to hear the whole thing? Why? Also, you have to treat the person that you're giving with some dignity and respect, and not treat them as if they're like some poor, miserable person. And many times people that give do the opposite, where they give the person not just the money, but a little bit of embarrassment too. Hey, here you go, but before you take it, like they hold on to the 20, they hold on to the 10, they hold on to the whatever bill, and he's holding on to the other end, but they want to give him a speech too. Listen, use this money right. You don't spend it all in one place. And by the way, your wife didn't look so good, so maybe you should get her something. And your kids, they look kind of hungry, so you give them a speech too. Money like that is better you don't give it. Don't give it. Other times, sometimes, a person say, listen, they donate money, and then they want to listen. Did you get it? Yeah, I got it. Thank you. You got it in the mail? Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. A day later, so you got the money? Yeah, I told you yesterday that I got it. I got it. Okay, fine. A week later, listen, so did you spend the money that I gave you already? Why, you need it back? No, I was making sure you got it. But I just told you I got it already. Oh, okay, did you get anybody else? What? Start asking them 500 questions with this. Not necessary. It's not necessary. If you donated on the website, I got it. You don't have to tell me. Did you get it? If you donated on the website, you got a receipt, that means I got it. You don't have to ask 500 times. But a lot of times people do that. Why? Because what do they want really? What do they want? They don't want to give. They want to thank you. They want to know you appreciate that I gave. Now, if you're giving because you're waiting to get appreciation, it's okay, but it's not the best way to give. It's like almost similar to that, like coffee with, not ready coffee. It's not mud, it's not like garbage, but it's not ideal. Why? Ideal should be the highest form of tzedakah. The giver doesn't know who the receiver is. The receiver doesn't know who the giver is. That's the highest form. Now, we can't do that all the time because, number one, we cannot trust people to just, tell them, listen, you give it to whoever. And we cannot trust that, the right receiver. So we have to sometimes know who we're giving it to. But we should try to aim to be at the best level of tzedakah. And not make a whole ordeal out of it. It's like, listen, I want to make sure that when I give it to you, you give me a receipt every time, and you also send me a special thank you email and a special message, and every time I see you, I need you to make sure that you look at me, and Khalas. You don't have to make a whole deal out of it. Why? Because if you're giving for that, it's better you don't give. It's better you don't give. Why? Although it's meritorious to give, you're spending all of the merits in this world. When somebody donates, for example, in shul, the Sephardim have this custom where they do an auction before the prayers, especially during the Yamim Noraim, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and they sell the aliyot to the Torah. And that's usually the time where the synagogue raises the most amount of money. But if you notice, most of the money usually is donated in many places by the people that don't come to shul most of the year. And most of the people that come most of the year, they don't donate during that time. They may donate to the shul, but not during that time. Why? They let everybody else get it a little bit. But the problem is, Chazal says that those people that donate, if they're not coming to the shul the whole year, why are they even donating? You would think, the guy that's coming all year should donate. Yeah, he does donate, but just not then. Why? Let him. He's not coming next week. He's not coming next month. So if he doesn't donate now, he'll never donate. Okay? So we can understand the guy's not, is going to donate later. But why is the guy that's only coming once or twice a year donating? Why? Because he wants to get the respect from all of the other people that even though he doesn't come, he's still supportive. He's still rich. He's still successful. He's still giving. And the sages say that guy that's donating, because he only donates because he wants to get the respect, the honor, and so on, he's going to cry later on. When he arrives at the Beit Din of heaven, he says, listen, I gave $1 million during my life. I gave $10 million during my life. I gave whatever amount of money during my life. That's good, right? And the Beit Din of heaven says, yes, it's good. But the problem is that you got so much respect for giving publicly, because every time you gave, it was like a billboard on the highway. Everyone knew you gave. You won the auction, you got the aliyah, you got the respect. Everyone knew you are the gvir of the town because you gave. So everybody gave you a lot of respect, and they even did more business with you. They married your kids, right? So all of that honor, that was the pleasure that you got. That was the reward that you got, but you got it in this world. All you have left out of the pleasure that's, that's owed to you is 1-2% left in the eternal world. And when a person sees the value of 1% of the eternal world versus 99% of what he got in the physical world, he's going to cry. Why? Because he's going to see that 1% is more pleasant than 99%, but he already spent it. Meaning, had he not gotten all of that kavod in the physical world and saved it all, or at least most of it, for the spiritual world, his reward would be infinite. Infinite. So again, there is a way to give and there's a way to give. You know, you can give, but sometimes when you give somebody, you're giving it to them and disrespecting them at the same time. Or you're getting too much reward and kavod at one time, and so on and so forth. So very good subject to constantly delve over and perhaps maybe revisit at a future date, is that not just to worry about giving, but also how we give. How we give. Your wife asked you a question. If your answer is a demeaning answer, it's a aggressive answer, it's a nonchalant answer, it's an answer that, yes, you answered her question, but you made her feel bad in the process, it was better off you said, I don't know. It was better off you didn't say anything. It was better off you weren't even born, actually. Why? Because at least you wouldn't be insulted. You understand? So sometimes your wife asks you a question because she wants to know how you feel about something, and you're frustrated because of 1.5 million different reasons, but that doesn't mean that you need to give her your frustrations. Same thing vice versa. Sometimes you're frustrated and your husband comes home and says there's something to eat, because he's hungry, because he's a human being, and you happen to be the chef in the house. But you're frustrated because your girlfriend forgot to call you, and your parents haven't come over, and you're this, and you're that, and the kids are driving you crazy. But all your husband asked for is a little bit of food. That's all he asked for. But you say, no, come on, no, go to your mother's house. What? Okay. Well, it's better off you weren't married, if you're going to answer him that way. It's better off you weren't. Why? Why does he deserve your frustration? So yes, you gave him an answer. You gave him an answer. But who needs an answer like this? Who needs an answer like this? So that's the thing. We give a lot. We're constantly giving in the world. We give tzedakah, we give headaches, we give heartaches, we give a lot of things. The most important thing about giving is think about what you're going to give before you give it, and think of it in the ways, would you want to be the receiver of your gift? Before you give the gift of an answer, of a response, of a whatever, would you want to be the receiver of that gift you're about to give your wife, of that gift you're about to give your husband, of that gift you're about to give your employee or the teller in the supermarket or whoever it is? Would you want to be the receiver? If the answer is yes, go ahead and give. If the answer is no, why not? Then why are you giving it? Why are you giving it?
B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new BeEzrat HaShem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the Shiurim that we do, myself, Rabbi Efraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Kippur and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Call to B'chavatzlacha.